talking about normal investors, I think appetite has grown to the extent that everyone wants a piece of the pie, and that's what you're seeing when you look at the capital markets play. We're talking about Motilal Oswal, and it's been a stellar quarter for Motilal Oswal. The stock taking a bit of a dip right now, but just to talk about the quarter gone by, marked with a fair amount of milestones. We're joined now by Raamdeo Agrawal, Chairman and co-founder of Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Mr. Agrawal, very good afternoon to you. Pleasure as always to have you here with us on NDTV Profit. It's been an important quarter. The AUM business has crossed the 1.5 lakh crore mark. What has been the top highlight in your view, and what has been the big move?
Yeah. So actually this quarter has been quite a milestone, I would say. I mean, in terms of declared number, it is the largest quarterly profit we ever had of 1,430 crores. So clearly for us, it is a big moment. Not that this is going to be the highest number in future, will clearly surpass these numbers. But right now, this is the largest in the history. And it is led by operations as well as treasury, because Motilal Oswal is twin engine kind of operation, treasury and operations. So operations have grown at about 24% on top line and 21% in terms of bottom line, in terms of 522 crores of profit for this quarter, which is what gives me the biggest, comfort. And it is led by performance in fantastic performance in AMC, PWM, and above all the capital market, where we are the largest QIP raiser of about 30,000 crores in this quarter for the corporates. So I think these 3-4 operating highlights have brought the revenue up by 24% and matching performance in terms of profits. But because in last quarter we had a negative mark to market, this quarter, as the market recovered, we have bumper a mark to market of almost 1,000 crores, and that takes the total profit of treasury and operating to more like 1,430 crores.
Mr. Agrawal, this is Harsh here. So just give our viewers a perspective on how one should look at numbers. Because of this mark to market, your numbers do appear to move quite a bit. Give our viewers a perspective on how they should look at Motilal Oswal's numbers.
I think they should look at TTM basis instead of looking at a 1 quarter basis. That might be a little misleading. I think if you see at 4 quarter numbers, trailing 4 quarters, I think then you'll get a better sense. Like last year in March, our profits were about 2550 or something like that. Now with the June quarter, it will be about 2930, 3,000 crores as the TTM. Because in 4 quarters, you get 1 or 2 quarters low markets. In 1 or 2 quarters, you get high markets. I would say trailing 4 quarters is a reasonably good reflection of what's happening in the company in both the engines, operating as well as treasury. So now the operating profit for last 4 quarters have gone up from 2,500 crores in March to here more like 3,000 crores.
Sir, good afternoon, and Neeraj here joining in the conversation as well. I was going through all that happened in FY25, the investments that you guys made, and you gained market share across the 5 verticals. No flags about what will happen in the rest of the 5 verticals, and continued growth. That was the con call in May 2025. You reckon the same narrative continues?
Yeah, I think except for the retail brokerage, which got a little bit impacted because of regulatory changes, which came in sometime in September, October last year. So that will play out for next 2 quarters more. I mean, this quarter is impacted. I think 2 more quarters have impacted more intensely the September quarter. But once we get over that, even for us in this quarter, even the retail brokerage distribution, BND, brokerage and distribution retail, is muted. It's not down, but it's not showing that 30-40% growth we are used to. So I think that year-on-year comparison will subside sometime in September and maybe probably December. But starting March 25 or March 24, I think we'll have a very good growth numbers even from retail brokerage side.
Sir, trying to understand the lending business a little bit more and what's happening there. Your yields have come off a little bit, and your NPA ratios have spiked when I'm looking at it QOQ. There's also some bit of credit cost build up which is there. Just give us a perspective on what is happening in housing finance. A couple of big players have suggested competition is coming in a big fashion. Pricing has gone a little bit awry. So just trying to understand क्या हो रहा है sir?
We have actually, since housing finance is on a recovery mode, actually in the first quarter, the growth in the disbursal is more like 57%, with more or less same kind of a yield. Just that we have built the sales force for further growth. So the productivity of the sales force has not built up, and hence the cost have stacked up a little bit. So profit in absolute terms has not grown as much as the top line has grown. So as far as our understanding is concerned, because we are still a small company, we have just about crossed 5,000 crores AUM in the housing side. Everything looks to be fine. In fact, the sense is that for the whole year, because a lot of accounting cannot be done in terms of insurance income, in terms of some they downsell some of the things. So I think the overall, I think we are expecting 30 to 40% growth in the bottom line on a 25-26 or 23-24. Sorry, 24-25. So yes, we are a little, I would say, cautiously optimistic on housing finance side. But yes, what you're saying is right, that there is much more intense competition in the affordable housing, and more importantly, that segment is not growing as much as the upper end of the housing is growing. So so much of capital is chasing. So yes, it becomes a little more difficult to grow profitably.
Oswal, the last few years, you've come a long way as an entity, right? From less than $1 billion at the very least to where you are right now, which is almost $7 billion or thereabouts and counting. What do you reckon over the next 5-10 years you could replicate what you've done in the last 5, 7, 10 years? At the pace of growth be stronger?
Yeah, Neeraj, see, we are tailwinded right now. I mean, I'm telling you, we were tailwinded between 2003 to 2007.
Okay.
I remember of that phase now. I mean, from 2020 to 2025, these 5 years has been massively tailwinded. What we did between 2003 and 2008, 2008 profits we repeated in 2018. So we had a almost like flattish, broadly flattish decade. So again, there is another round of growth of expansion of capital markets on the back of retail expansion, starting from 2020 till 2025. Now we are at 200 million. I hope we are headed for 400 to 500 million kind of thing in next 5 years. That's my hope. I mean, it should happen like that. A lot of things don't happen as we expect, but we are tailwinded, and as the no tailwind lasts forever. As this tailwind continues for next 4-5 years, I think we will try to make best use of it, and we will put best foot forward from Motilal Oswal in every possible business.
Mr. Agrawal, I'm just wondering that with the way markets have been the last few months, have you seen activity on that end come down a bit in terms of number of accounts coming in, retail activity? Have you seen any kind of slump or dip there?
No, if anything, we have seen the corporate activity picking up. In fact, the block selling,
Yes.
one of the things which has emerged is the sustained selling by the corporates of their holdings. I mean, like, I think the promoters' holding have come off by 2-3% in last 1 year. So I think the rich valuation in the market, and no more promoter selling is looked upon negative. I think we are seeing a lot. I mean, the new phenomena for 25-26 is what I would say, significant selling by promoter entities into the market. So that's the new one, which further expands the market. It is more. I mean, that certificate which was illiquid is becoming liquid. So floating stock, the free float of the companies are increasing slowly. But I mean, India is the only place where you have 45% promoters block, only 55% is floating stock. So as the promoter block melts and comes to become kind of owned more broadly by the people at large, I think the capital market will expand. Meaningful capital market will expand, and corporate activity will also capital market activity will also expand, because the moment promoter sells the stock, he opens a family office, and the money comes back to the AMCs and wealth, and all sorts of activity happens.
You know, I'm going to ask you a follow-up on that question, and not necessarily as someone running the company, but now with the hat of the market expert, of how you see that trend, promoter selling, and on the other hand, primary issues and how they are flooding right now. Do you see this as a healthy trend or a bit of a tread with caution kind of a situation?
No, this is the healthiest thing to happen for the longer term. See, short term, there could be a price spike down or whatever, wherever there is excess supply or something like that. It will kind of quench the market appetite. But then the demand from the retail side is so sustained that we need supply of good quality paper. And so I think the companies which are growing where there is a good demand, and if the promoters are willing to accommodate the fund managers' demand, I think that is the best thing to happen. I don't see it as negative at all. So free float increase in Indian markets are, I mean, it's fantastic in every aspect, except the liquidity is very, very poor because the companies are relatively small, and of that, very small portion is listed. So as the listing increases, the play area will become much more wider and much deeper. So because the price of the stock is not determined by who is selling or who is buying. Price of the stock is determined purely by the earnings performance. So, I mean, if the earnings performance goes double, even if the promoter wants to sell 50%, 60% of the company, I think the stock will move up.
Okay, so good times ahead. You know, just again, as the market expert view, and one last question. I know I'm over time and I've taken more of your time as well. Are you worried at all with the kind of lack of momentum that we're seeing right now?
I think we had great time. I think this is the period when earnings are somewhat slow. So we got to have patience, but we are very close to the all-time high. I mean, we are just about 1,000 points or something lower. So maybe 4-5%, 6% lower than all-time high. So we have done well. I think we need to bring some patience in the market, whereby let it consolidate, and as the earnings pick up, we should be ready with our dry powder to take the market to newer highs.
Okay, be ready with dry powder. That's important, view coming in there from Raamdeo Agrawal. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with us. Pleasure as always. Keep your powder dry at a time when things are slowing down. We've done well.